Many of y'all have seen a commercial by Interstate Batteries called God's Love. It's been around for a few years. The first time I saw it was just this past Christmas. I saw the commercial and I was so stoked to see a business that instead of relying on the self-righteous act of so many companies who promote their love of the earth and the environment to appeal to the shallow feel-goodism of so many people, Interstate Battery charged up their gusto and went against the grain of the culture that's more and more being conditioned to find God offensive and said, hey, we love God. Get a charge out of that.
I think what's happening. Propaganda.
The commercial was put out there by Norm Miller. As well as being the chairman of Interstate Batteries, he's also the founder of I Am Second, a Christian outreach organization. Recently, it came to my attention that liberals are trying to go after Interstate Batteries because they sponsor Rush Limbaugh's show with a few affiliates. But these lefties are trying to make it look like they're Rush's ultimate sponsor, and they deserve to be boycotted. I hope nothing big comes of this. And I hope they'll relent for reflecting on how this backfires on them, like in the case of Chick-fil-A and with Phil Robertson. I'm looking at liberals admonishing Interstate Batteries and threatening to change batteries because they're so disappointed that they sponsor the king of hate radio, Rush Limbaugh. I've seen more hate in their threads than I've ever heard in the 20 plus years I've known Rush to be on the air. And what makes Rush Limbaugh so hateful? Because he disagrees with the positions of some people? Again, I have to ask, how liberals can accuse us conservatives of being narrow-minded absolutists, when if you just disagree with them, it means you hate them. It can't be anything else. Now that's an example of being a narrow-minded absolutist. Republicans didn't establish a terrorist organization because people disagree with them. Democrats did though, and they call us conservative Republicans extremists and absolutists. But anyway, I caught wind of the commercial God's Love by Interstate Batteries, and I was like, rock on. Then I thought, hey, my band has a song called Divine Battery that celebrates the power of God's love. How sad would it be if we didn't make a connection? I often receive feedback saying, Zoe, you should have your own show on Fox News. Now, as much as I appreciate that, I'm like, why? More political talk isn't really the answer, in my humble opinion. If I had to answer to Fox's schedule, I'd never have time to do anything else. My whole life will be politics, and that would suck. It practically takes all my brain cells to keep up with what I do here. And I like it here because I do have that flexibility. Or, Zoe, when are you gonna run for public office? Again, we have to promote conservatism in the culture if you expect the culture to be ready to receive a conservative's representation. Y'all, there's already a lot of political talk. But talking only goes so far if you don't have the means to relate to people. This is one of the reasons why I have a band. I keep telling y'all, one of the reasons why liberalism spreads so effectively is because they make good use of music to spread their message in a wide range of genres, while conservatives limit themselves to pretty much country. Country music is fine, but like I said, it's limiting. Conservatives keep asking, how do we reach the youth? How do we reach the women? How do we reach the black voters? How do we reach the Hispanic voters? While not doing what it actually takes to reach them. Over and over again, they throw more money at another politician who they think is gonna have the appeal that liberals have. And we end up with someone like John McCain. Conservatives, if you would demand more of the supply of conservatism being promoted in the culture, instead of putting your faith and stock into a politician to change things, you'd see more positive results. That's why I dig Interstate Batteries, who got right down to the core of it and stepped out there and said, we need God's love. So if you're watching this vid, show Interstate Batteries some love. Visit their Facebook page and show some support. And let them know that you'd like to see them team up with 20 Pound Sledge and do a promotion with their song, Divine Battery, because it fits. Now some haters will say, oh, Zoe, you're just trying to benefit off their commercial. Yeah, I absolutely am. And I'm guilty of that. My objective is to promote the gospel, not my personal glory. If I wanted to promote my own personal glory, I could just write secular music with my band and be celebrated by singing about debauchery or cynical themes on America. There's a big market for that. It's much harder to make it as a conservative artist because conservatives tend to not demand a lot of it. So if I'm in it for the money and the fame, I'm definitely in the wrong market. I'm into promoting the gospel and conservatism, and it helps to have resources to do that. I do okay from here on PJTV, but a lot of people may not get where I'm coming from here. So I use music to relate to that other demographic, which shines a light on the messages I do from here, and potentially draws them in via something they can relate to. I'm Alfonso Rachel with Zone Nation, and I know this message is gonna pass by a lot of y'all, like the collection plate passes you by in church. But if you wanna see conservatism promoted in the culture, here's an example of how to do it. To help me get these messages out there, you can do something small like what I just mentioned. I'm not asking too much, am I? Get a charge out of that.